Hey y'all, so I'm glad that everybody is fucking with the last video. I tried on that one, so thank you for all the support. I did want to answer a couple of like common questions I keep seeing everybody ask, like what sewing machines I used in the video, sewing machines I recommend, how to get like started into sewing if you're interested. Also a little bit about my sewing journey. I know a lot of y'all have been following me for a while, but y'all don't even know I went to fashion design school, like college for fashion design in New York. So I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit of lore, a little bit of tips on machines, and yeah. So in that video, the machine you see me primarily use is called a serger. It has 4 threads. It's technically called an overlock stitch. My machine has a bunch of different settings with like different overlock stitching, just depending on the way that you thread it or the way that you set up the like tension and feed dogs and stuff. Say hello to Big Mama. This is my serger. She has 4 threads, like I said. On the side, we got the presser foot like lifter, the little turn dial to sew if you needed to like hand sew a couple of stitches. Power button. This is what I mean when I say universal cables, because this can go to that machine and that vice versa. I'm being misleading and making this look like it's for storage, but it's really to catch any excess fabric that you cut off, because you can. I don't know if it's gonna, yeah. I have it on, so you can cut off any excess fabric right there, and then it'll go into this little trash bin. You can throw it away, but I just made it a catch-all for all my junk. If I open this up, this is how you would thread the rest of the threads. At first, this looks super fucking scary, very daunting, but it is really a 1, 2, 3 ABC as steps, and it tells you exactly how to do it. So even if you forget, it's right here until the very last step. A lot of you guys were telling me that I could just tie the thread on here, which is true, but I would not waste my time doing that. 1, because it's a specific knot you have to do to make it work, and 2, every time I thread this the right way, like follow the instructions, it works. It overlocks, it chains right. So I'm just gonna stick with what I know works every single time. So on this side of the machine, I wrote down some notes myself because I'd be forgetting, but this is the tension feed, the length of the stitches, and then I believe that one is like your stitch width. This also comes off, I think to clean your machine, but it's probably another reason that I just don't remember. Low key, oh my god, this is for your fabric to go in. I need to take that off more often. Anyways, the more you know, I'm learning shit just showing you guys. It's to cut the fabric. Like if I turn that off, it's not gonna cut when I serge through, but if it's turned on, it is gonna cut. So definitely if you're younger or child sewing, make sure you pay attention to that, because it is very sharp. It is like right here where you would be sewing. They have this as like a little safety, but I'd be reaching all up in there, so it's very important to be careful of that, especially when you're threading it too. And if you have your machine on, you could easily step on the foot while you're like trying to get in there and cut your finger. So just be careful, guys. The back doesn't have much going on. It just shows you what model I have, and it's a little bit dirty because the vents are right here. Make sure you're oiling and dusting your machines, y'all. Keep that in mind. You have to do that. Would I recommend this machine to you guys? I absolutely would. I feel like anyone I know that has a serger has this serger. It's just super useful when you're trying to finish edges quickly. If you sew with a lot of stretch fabrics, it's perfect for that. I guess I would say technically it's like an intermediate sewing machine device. So if you know you can take the time to learn how to thread it and properly like clean it, oil it, and not break anything on it, then I would say definitely invest your money in this one, because you can do a lot of projects super fast without knowing too many sewing skill type things. So the other machine that I have is actually a sewing machine. It's called a JX2517 brother machine, and it's honestly one of the most standard brother machines. Like I've literally had it since I was in high school. Like if I look that machine up on YouTube, or if I just look up brother sewing machine, I see that one specifically pop up so much. And I don't know if it's because the design or like the time period when it was like created, but it's really popular. Honestly, a great starter machine, because I feel like it's so many tutorials out there. Like if you're dealing with the issue in terms of like threading or something not really going right, you can look that up, or just how to use it and utilize it in more fun, creative ways. Right here are all the different stitches you can use, and it honestly has a lot. Like 17 is a lot of stitches for like a really basic machine. You're working with a lot here. It also has like the button and zipper ones, and it comes with all the attachments to do like button and zipper stuff as well. This little foot right here has been my favorite lately, because you can use it like to cover up your feed dogs and then just embroider on your machine, which I think it's so cool and so fun. Threading this machine is pretty self-explanatory. It just goes through the regular stuff, that hook, and then clips over there, through there. Has a bobbin chamber here. Also a flex, it has a bobbin rethreader, which is this little thing. You would push it over there and then still step on the foot. Let me show you. And then it can rethread your bobbin. Love that. Down. Literally don't even buy a machine if it doesn't have a bobbin rethreader. Let's start there. But yeah, that's my beautiful, beautiful girl. Would I recommend her to beginners? I really would recommend her, but I would also say it's like a million sewing machines out there. So take your time, do a little bit more research. This is not in any way, shape, or form the best sewing machine you can get as a beginner. This is just one of the ones that I have. And not even to shade my own machine, but this one is really old. Like, it's over 5 years old, and I know they've probably dropped so many better ones throughout the like years that have passed since I bought this one. Thing that I've also noticed with machines in general, I think my preference personally is just Brother, because I have always had Brother products. I had one industrial machine, and I believe it was a Singer, and I don't know if it's because it was secondhand or what, but it just did not give the same way that Brother gives for me. Also, in terms of attachments, think of sewing machines kind of like computers. You can only use Apple like accessories for Apple products, and the same with Android. Unless it's a universal cable, obviously. I can't use my Brother's sewing machine feet on like a Singer machine or any other machine because it just won't be compatible. They aren't made the same to like fit on any machine. My personal dream machines is a Juki. Unfortunately, I've had it before, and then the person that I was sharing it with just took it. Like, I literally put money down for it and everything. That sucked. If they see this, literally fuck you. A Juki will sew through jeans like it's butter. Like, really, really thick points in like a sewing project that like a Brother or just a regular at-home machine will like struggle a little bit with. A Juki runs through it. Like, you can literally sew through the bone of your finger with a Juki machine. So it's like super, super, super heavy duty industrial strength and just great for like sharp, clean lines. I feel like you can definitely get really sharp, clean lines with the Brother machine, but the only difference is it's just not as powerful. It's not as powerful, it's not as strong. You have to have technique to be able to sew very, very nice on it, if that makes sense. For the most part, all machines work the same. They sew close together. They fulfill their purpose at the end of the day. One of my friends recommended that I give you a video explaining everything there is to know about the machine, but I don't even know everything there is to know about this machine. So I obviously recommend whatever your machine is, do YouTube research. They usually come with manuals or pamphlets, sometimes CDs. Like my Serger came with 2 different CDs explaining like how to use it and different stitches it has. The video is about to hit 10 minutes, so I'm going to speed through some beginner tips I have for you guys, at least in terms of like what you might need to start that I can remember. So first of all, you do not need a sewing machine to start. I know I just showed you 2, but a needle and thread has been there since before I was alive, since before you were alive, before your grandparents were alive. We have been sewing by hand for like centuries. So I think you would be okay if you start with a needle and thread. If you're trying to work your way up to being able to afford a machine, I'm gonna just hold your hand, look at you when I say this. It's gonna be very hard. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take hella dedication and a lot of fucking time. So if you have the patience for that, sew by hand. But if not, definitely figure out your machine, do some research, get that together. What I recommend personally is to do project by project. I personally will buy everything that I need and more when I start something new because I just get hyper fixated on it. But I feel like with sewing, that could be really overwhelming because materials are expensive, and then you have that like dread in the back of your head just thinking, I can't mess this fabric up, because once you cut it, it's cut forever. You can't, even if you sew it back together, it's not going to be as it was originally. Keep that in mind. Start small. Start only buying what you need for that specific project. Other than a needle and thread or your sewing machine, you're definitely going to need some scissors. As far as scissors and cutting devices, I have a couple. These ones are called Gingers. They're very nice pair of scissors. I think they might have a lifetime warranty. I don't really remember. They're just a really nice quality. I have 2 of these. You don't need this exact brand, but just sewing scissors specifically, you do need. The thread snips, I would say to get these just so you can cut those smaller little threads without accidentally cutting your fabric. It's kind of almost equivalent to a seam ripper, but not really, because you can't seam rip loose threads. It would be like dangerous. Of this roller blade, oop, it's locked. Make sure you keep that locked actually. It's very good for just cutting straight lines or like when you try to do curves. I recommend having a table like this or just a cutting board to cut on so you're not ruining your tables, carpets, floors, whatever. Are kind of a luxury. these pinking shears. These are only for specific types of fabric, so depending on project, you may or may not need these. I know they look very elementary school, but these are expensive as scissors, y'all. I'm sure I forgot a few things, like in regards to beginner tips, just because I'm so far from my beginner era. I started sewing when I was little. My mom taught me how to sew. Her best friends are seamstress and like have their own businesses that are really successful. Like my god sister made my prom dress. So I've just been surrounded by art and sewing and fashion my whole life. And then I went to high school for visual arts, and I kind of furthered it by making a fashion club, and I was sewing there. Oh, I had fashion design class in high school, but my teacher already knew that I knew how to sew, so she didn't teach me shit. She was just like, girl, go help them fucking kids. Which is fair enough, because them kids did need help, and I started a fashion club like with her help. I used to use sewing for photography work and sculpture work, which sounds crazy, but I did it because I'm that girl, yeah. During high school, I also did like a wearable art program at MICA. That was fun. If you're still in high school, definitely look at your pre-college programs, because it's a lot of room to grow there. They didn't teach me much about sewing, but just being in that art environment, like being in a sewing, that was like my first time in an actual like sewing studio with professional materials and shit. So that was very good to experience. I got the opportunity to go to FIT, which is Fashion Institute of Technology. That's in New York City, Manhattan. That's why I moved to New York, y'all. A lot of y'all don't even know that lore. Y'all don't even know. I went to FIT and I was like high-key a lot of my teachers' favorites, just because I was like advanced. Like I'm not trying to like stroke my own ego when I say this, but a lot of my teachers were just surprised by my skill level being as young as I was, because in college a lot of people are different ages. But yeah, I was like the young hot girl that just kind of knew everything. I will say that was definitely an experience. I could talk and make 5 videos about my college experience, but that's all I got for right now, to be honest. This video is getting super long. I don't know how I'm gonna edit it. If you watched this far, I let you down. Definitely comment any other questions, maybe things that I've missed. If you have any FIT questions, or just like fashion or art school questions in general, beginner sewing tips that I've missed, just let me know. Love you guys lots. Until the next video, bye y'all.